Thank you very much for joining us. We begin in the United Kingdom, where a delayed intelligence report on Russia has just been released. It says Moscow is attempting to interfere in UK politics, and there is evidence the Kremlin has tried to meddle in elections. It says there's credible information that Russia attempted to influence the 2014 Scottish independence referendum. The committee says it's hard to prove interference in the Brexit referendum in 2016, but the UK was slow to recognize the threat. And it also warns that Russia's cyber capability is a matter of grave concern that poses an immediate threat to Britain's national security. Live to Sonia Gallego in London for us. So, Sonia, a report that we've been waiting for almost 18 months now. Tell us more about what it indicates about the level of Russian interference in the UK.
Well, it's finally here, the 50-page document here that was outlined in that press conference given by the members of the ISC, the intelligence community that was looking into this. And it does paint a rather dismal picture of how lax the UK government has been in terms of dealing with this sort of threat, and that it has been trying to juggle that with a sort of prosperity strategy that was in place in the country, and also lays the blame at successive UK governments for not treating it as seriously as it should have been, that Russia considers the UK to be one of its top intelligence targets, and that it should have recognised this off the back of the 2014 Scottish independence referendum, when there were already signs of Russian interference there, but it failed to tackle that at the time, and then going subsequently into the European Union independence referendum as well. The problem was that they didn't see specific threats, but however, what was difficult to gauge, and they said this in the report, was exactly how that disinformation that was played out across social media platforms could have influenced people. They say they can't tell that. It would be impossible to tell how much that affected that. But really, it was the fault of the governments at the time for not taking this strategy seriously by Russia.
The report, Sonia, says that the UK was targeted because of its relationship with the US. How damaging has the interference been to the UK overall, and what has been done to counter it, if anything?
Well, Folly, precious little if you listen to what the ISC said at the time when regarding to that. It wasn't so much as that they willfully wanted to resist any form of investigation or any look into how corrosive Russian interference was in British society, but also they didn't want to know. They didn't want to touch it with, as they put it, with a 10-foot pole. The problem is that this is not just in terms of electoral interference, of hacking as well, but more subtle forms of interference as well. How prominent Russians were able to infiltrate British society and then created a sort of cottage industry of really sort of getting into the heart of British society as well. It came in the form of prominent Russians giving political donations to parties such as the Conservative Party, the ruling party now, and also in terms of creating this other landscape where they co-opted lawyers, accountants and estate agents into spreading their influence, what a phenomenon that's known here as Londongrad. So really, it's not just the sort of aggressive approach that has been taken, as we've been seeing with the hacking, not just in this country, but also with the Democratic Party that happened in 2016, but also the softer power of that influence as well, which, and this report lays that open to say that the failure to tackle that has really brought us to the situation where we are now at, and really that governments need to tackle this, not just the UK in itself, but it needs to also have a cross-government and also an international strategy to deal with this kind of interference, Folly.
Thank you for that. Sonia Gallego live there in London, and we'll have more reaction and analysis of this report released today on Russian interference in the UK. Sonia, thank you very much for the moment.